I don't think I understood. I mean, listen, I'm an actor. I'm a journeyman actor working and, sometimes, getting done. I got this job and this was an amazing thing to get this job as Courage the Cowardly Dog. And basically, and the way that happened, and I'm going to, just save you the trouble of asking me that question, is that I actually was working. He mentioned comedy, and I was doing sketch comedy with my partner, Rick Moad, who actually my creative partner, right, in the group Lab Rats, just in case those of you think that he's actually my partner. See, my wife is my partner, and then Rick is a different kind of partner. But anyway, you don't need to get too deep into all of that. Okay. Yes, but the bottom line is that we worked sketch comedy for about 8 years, and we had going all around the city, and so we got a couple of good reviews, one in Time Out New York, and this friend of mine, Risa Newworth, actually saw the review, saw that I was still working, and it jogged her mind to give me a call. I hadn't spoken to her in over 6 or 7 years, maybe it was. And she called me up and said, listen, I'm working with this guy, John Dilworth. He's putting together, he's created a new cartoon series, Courage the Cowardly Dog. And he's been listening to every voiceover artist in the city over the last 4 or 5 months, over 300 voices, I think she said, some of the most skilled voiceover people in the city, trying to cast the role of this character of Courage. And he can't decide on what he wants. He's not happy with it. So I figured at this point, he's making me crazy. I thought of you. And so, I was jogged. My memory was jogged. Thought of you, and I reached out to you, and I thought maybe I'll bring you in and see what happens. You have an interesting voice. And so sure enough, I went in, and within 5 minutes, I knew something was going on.
John was very playful during the audition.
Very playful during the audition.
Having fun with it. Oh, try this one and try that one, and you kind of just
it was
going back and forth.
Yeah,
you matched each other's energy.
It was great. Yeah, it was a real give and take, and he just got really excited. He was like a kid in a candy, like yes, and which is what John Dilworth is like. Actually, a lot of the time, it's part of the brilliance of him, and that he created the show that has that. I think it's manifest. Brilliance is manifest in the show. And so he chose me. It was like, yes, you got it. But the only thing is, what we need to do is, can you just, I like this voice like this, but can you pitch it up here? So we did it up here. And then suddenly he said, yes, that's it. And so that's how that Courage voice got started. So the voice you lovely people who listened to and binge watched recently, that voice is the exact same voice that I did in that audition. No difference. What'll I do? I'll save you, Muriel. All of that lovely stuff.
My heart is fluttering right now. This is amazing.
Folks, that was the requisite Courage quotes that I did, a couple more. But the most important one, I'm going to do, all the things I do for love.
There it is, yes.
See these guys? Look at these guys.
Oh, my inner child.
This is the publicity. This is the promotion. You understand?
Do you find that when you were doing the audition with John Dilworth, and he was playful like that, do you prefer auditions like that? Absolutely. Compared to
formal?
Yeah, formal.
No, please. The more, as you can see, the more playful, the more confidence because all of us, when we go into an audition, are terrified. Yeah. I mean, I continue to remain terrified every time I go into an audition, and incidentally, every time just before I have to perform something. Always very, very frightened, always terrified. And so, but I prefer that because this is where I'm confident. And I am also, guarantee you, that more often than not that everybody should be the way I am, because I'm, frenetic and waving my hand. See, I'm only waving one hand. I can do that. I made an adjustment because I'm holding the microphone, right? So now I'm waving one hand. But anyway, the fact that, I particularly gravitate towards that kind of wild freneticism. But really, I say that it's the interaction between the actor and the producer or the director or whoever is interviewing them. the audition begins the minute you walk in the door. That's where the audition begins, right? And so once there's a connection there, I mean, I'm confident enough about my own ability as an actor to be able to fulfill what it is they're asking for, generally speaking. But it's all that other stuff that I think ultimately really paints a picture of or creates something for them to, want you for the role.